Yes, may I have your name?
Perez.
Okay, and your badge number?
Who is this?
I just want your badge number.
I know, but I'd like to know who I'm talking to.
My name is Kiana.
Kiana Clark?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. How can I help you?
Okay, your badge number?
10706. Spoke to
Okay.
you yesterday.
Okay. So I looked online and I saw that in order to report the interference of child custody, so I guess you
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
everything. That a police first had to initiate the interference with child custody. Are you denying to do that?
Well, I mean, what's going on? How can I help you?
Yes, I reported that some false statements were made. And hindering a child custody agreement is a crime, and making false statements to a family court is a crime too. So
Okay.
false statements were
When
made.
I spoke to you yesterday, we don't investigate the courts. That's not what we do. If you want to investigate the courts, like I told you yesterday.
I'm not saying investigate the courts. I'm just saying
Okay.
investigate the false statements that were made in the family court and the false statements that were made to intervene with the child custody and the first
Well, and
custody
so,
agreement and the
you know,
first custody agreement
if
not
you
being
believe,
followed as well as the
Ms.
second one.
Clark, Ms. Clark, if you believe that false statements were made during a court hearing, you would have to address it to the court, let them know what you have going on, and let them determine what all is happening. At the
Oh,
same time, you can get a hold of the DA's office, let them know that you believe. I assume it's the Dallas family courts that you had a problem with.
yes.
Talk to them. Talk to the DA's office. Okay, and let them know what your concerns are and see if that is something that they would investigate. If it's
Okay.
not something that they would investigate, then, like I told you yesterday,
Can I ask
speak
questions?
to the.
Can I ask questions
Hang on.
why I
Well,
call?
let me just finish what
Okay.
I have to say, and then after that you can talk.
Okay.
Like I told you yesterday, I'm pretty sure getting a hold of the Attorney General's office and letting them know that you've got some issues with the courts, they would investigate that, or they could probably steer you in the correct direction as to who would investigate that.
Okay. And now am I able to talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first custody agreement that wasn't followed, and then the second one. So if I just want police officers' assistance to do what is needed, so if they're not following the custody agreements, how do law enforcement help with that?
So as far as an issue with you're talking about an interference with child custody.
Yes.
If you have an issue with an interference with child custody, then the first thing that you need to do is bring it up to a judge in family court. At that point, the judge will you need to request a motion for enforcement or a motion to enforce. I would recommend getting an attorney. You request a motion to enforce. That will be the first step, because essentially what that does is you're notifying the judge that the custody agreement is not being followed, and at that point they can put some type of enforcement action on the individual who's not following the custody agreement. And that's
Okay.
really the first step, and that would probably resolve most of your issues.
I've
If it
already done
doesn't
that. They're
resolve,
corrupt. I've already. That's why I would like for you to allow me to speak because there's corruption going on. I've already done that. And
okay.
that's what our police
So
are denying me investigation to get to the bottom of the corruption.
yeah,
So,
and so again, you know, you said that we spoke, and you've explained that to me just the same way that I've explained it to you. On the corruption aspect of things, I cannot help you with that because we're not going to investigate. We don't investigate courts. The Attorney General's office is who you need to get in contact in order to investigate the courts.
okay. So
That's what
another
we did
question is
yesterday.
when they don't follow the custody agreement, so I can do reports. I can report it. So there's evidence that the court has evidence that they're not following the custody agreement.
If the individual, so if the individual who's on the custody agreement is generally going to be you and another party, right? Because it's an agreement between two parties that's signed off by a judge. So in this case, it would probably be the father of the child. And if the father of the child is not following the custody agreement the way the court order has it, then you go to family court and you let the judge know.
Yeah, but I want a paper trail. So I wanted to you
Well, then
exercise my rights
do
and
the
be able
paper
to
trail.
report.
You can do the paper trail. You would do an interference with child custody report, and then it'll get assigned to a detective. But like I said, the first steps on your end, what you have to do is take it to family court. And there's a problem with that because you think that the courts are corrupt. And so
Well, you're not a
that's going to
detective.
help you.
You're not
What,
a
I'm sorry?
you're not a detective.
I am. I spoke to you yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you were the detective that was assigned. So I guess you put in the report that I believe the court is bribed and that there was corruption. So that's in the report.
No, I never said anything about a bribe.
Why would you tamper with evidence and not put that in the report? That's vital information.
How am I tampering with evidence?
Because I'm doing the report that I believe that there's corruption with the courts and that and with the CPS worker.
Ms.
And if
Clark,
you
you and I
refuse
have
to
never
put that
made a
in,
report. Ms. Clark, you and I spoke. We had a conversation over the phone yesterday. Okay.
right? I want you. If you're the
You did a
detective,
report. Our conversation is not a report. You did a
I'm
report
trying
with
to do
patrol
a
officers.
report. And if
Ms. Clark,
if you're denying the
listen to
evidence
me.
in the report, you're tampering with evidence.
Ms. Clark, you made a report with police officers whenever you met with them last week. During that incident, it's my understanding that when officers questioned you about the interference with child custody, you refused to answer their questions, which is the reason why they made it a preliminary offense, right? Which is basically for us to know that something is going on, but you withheld some of the information that that officers were asking of you.
Well,
Okay?
I just
We
want
then spoke yesterday, and you've been telling me since yesterday that the courts are corrupt, but you still want my assistance in dealing with the courts.
No, I just don't want you to tamper with evidence. I would like to be able to communicate. You're putting words in my mouth. I just wanted to communicate with you the corruption, and you're covering for it, which is tampering with evidence. Well, you are tampering with evidence because I'm making a report to the detective that there is some corruption, and you're not willing to put that in the report, which is tampering with evidence. If police keep on lying in the reports, tampering with evidence, covering for it, that is a state jail felony, I thought. So I would like you to put in the report that there's corruption because when they pull the report and you have inaccurate information in it,
Well,
I want to have what I don't know why so many officers do not put what I'm reporting to them in the reports, and that's tampering with evidence. So I want in the report how CPS was not returning my calls, and they're covering for it.
CPS is not returning your calls?
Well, not it's not that they're not returning my calls. They're not setting me up with the advocate, and they're playing games.
How they're playing games?
I keep making reports, and then when I go in to get the information on the reports, they threaten police, and they tell me to leave without giving me the information on the report.
Why would they threaten police if all you're asking is for information?
Because I believe that they're corrupt. That's what I'm reporting.
So again, I don't investigate CPS.
I'm doing a report. Right. I'm doing a report, and I just want you to have accurate information in the report.
The first thing that you need to do, Ms. Clark, is talk to the correct jurisdiction, right? And DPD is not going to investigate CPS. That's just what we do.
Okay, but I don't want you to tamper with evidence and not put my reports in the report, what I'm reporting. I would like to utilize my civil rights and have accurate information in the report, and not have police tamper with evidence. That's been going on years. Well, you are tampering with evidence because I'm reporting there's corruption of the court, and you're not taking that evidence, and I'm reporting the CPS worker lied on me.
You provide me with proof that they are tampering, that they are corrupt, that the courts are corrupt, and then I will address it directly to whoever I need to do that to. Okay?
Okay, well, I can give you the evidence.
You provide me with that evidence.
Okay. Well,
that's pretty much where it's going to stop.
Okay, well, I report it. Do you want the evidence?
You can bring it to headquarters.
Okay, well, I can give it to you, and then you can investigate it. So I did the interview, reported to the court that they were intervening with the child custody, and I had a court date October 26th, 2018. Yes,
2018, so that's 4 years ago.
Right, they ignored it.
They ignored what?
The interference with child custody when I reported it to the court, Kim Cook. So then they had a custody agreement that was set, and since she wasn't following it, they changed it. I wasn't even seeing my daughter. So then they changed it to I had supervised visitation because of something that the stepmom said, which is not even a legal custodial parent. But here's the thing. I'm giving you the evidence.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. The report that you filed with officers last week, I believe.
Well, I want to give you the evidence real quick, and then we can go from there.
Let me ask
I don't want
you,
any more tampering with evidence because that's a lot of that has occurred. So
okay, let me ask you this though. How old is your daughter?
She's 12, but can I please? I don't.
Right.
Yes.
And the report, the cause number, the court number that you provided to officers was from a 1997 case, I believe. So that would pertain to your 12-year-old daughter, right?
Okay. Are you? I wanted to talk about how the court let the stepmom tell them something, and I hadn't seen my daughter, and then took away my child custody rights.
If you want to make a report, okay, you need to go speak to officers directly. You need to have patrol officers, come out to your location, and then they will do a report for you. But what I'm telling you is that even if you have, or you believe that you have.
Well, you want evidence, and I'm trying to give you the evidence, and you're still tampering with evidence. Let me talk, and then you can pull the records if you're going to.
I'm not filing a report for you, Ms. Clark.
Well, that's tampering with evidence.
That's not for me. No, it's not. That's for a patrol officer to do. A patrol officer is going to respond to your location, and they will file a report.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. You're a detective.
You don't have a case right now. Therefore, there's nothing for me to investigate.
Well,
I have an active case.
Right. I'm trying to make reports, and police have been tampering with evidence for a long time, and I'm trying to tell you what went on with the court. You said if I gave you evidence, and then you're interrupting the evidence, which is substantial evidence on this situation. So I did not talk to the...
Like I told you, Ms. Clark.
Why would you not... Are you tampering? Are you covering for the crime, sir?
What do you think?
Okay, well, let me tell you, the October 26th, I told them I was not seeing my daughter. And then they would not let me do the interference with child custody at the court, Kim Cook. Then I had another, they set up another one. The stepmom told them something, and I didn't have any access to my daughter, period. So nothing could have happened. But she told them something, and then they gave me some guidelines for which it would be under supervised visits. If I already reported to them October 26th that I wasn't able to see my daughter, period, why would they have supervised visits? And nothing happened. But I don't understand how I keep reporting all these things to the police department, and then they keep falsifying information in the documents.
But they were giving you guidelines, right? They gave you guidelines, so follow those guidelines. If you have a problem with the guidelines... She's
not following the guidelines. I don't know. See, this is what's difficult, because people keep tampering with evidence and covering for the crimes. Everyone I talk to.
Well, like I said, if I'm tampering with evidence, then I can't investigate myself. So, and the same way I can't investigate CPS, I can't investigate the family courts like I told you. Get a hold of the Attorney General.
But you could put accurate information in the report.
Like you need to make a complaint on me, you can contact IAD, okay? If you truly think that I am tampering with evidence...
You could do a report of my reports, what I'm reporting, and not overtalk me. Because I'm trying to get something resolved.
You have no case. You have no case right now. The first step, I've given you several steps.
Well, what I'm requesting from you is to put what I'm saying in the reports and not tamper with evidence, is what I'm requesting.
The second one, and this is going to be it, and after this...
This is why it's been going on for years, because people take control of the calls, and what I'm requesting is for you not to tamper with evidence and put in what I'm reporting to you, and you're a detective.
Right, I'm going to let you go, okay? I've already given you the options. I've already given you all the...
So all I'm requesting is for you just to hear my statements and put them in the reports.